I'd like to invite Amit Ashkenazi. He's a law and technology expert at Shamgar Center for Digital Law and Innovation here in Tel Aviv University. And Amit will talk about reflection on renewed role of the state in defending against disinformation.
Thank you. So thank you for this important conference and a really wonderful day. I used the somewhat strange word, reflections, being a policy lawyer coming from the government. Now we want to reflect, but this aims to provoke a discussion about the interface between what we've seen coming from security, coming from technology, and the role of policy. And I will try to describe how policy has a role to play in this battle against disinformation and influence campaigns. This is based on work I'm doing at INSS, also some of it at Shamgar. So the first thing that we do as policy people is we have to define the problem. So let's untangle the problem of content distribution online and then try to look at what are some of the solutions in the world. This is a continuation of what we've heard from Taiwan. I will go and rely on the Brussels effect. I think that many activities taken in the EU are important for us to interoperate with the world and also to not reinvent the wheel in the way that we deal with issues. So the basic problem that we have, and I've spent a lot of my career protecting the online space from the intervention by government. So the government should not interfere in the marketplace of ideas. We used to believe in truth. I hope this is still relevant. It's really good to talk in universities about the truth. And the truth is an important thing for human innovation and for science. So we want to protect the truth in the marketplace of ideas. This is an AI-generated, naive way to look at this marketplace of ideas where people come together and exchange and discuss, and we have discourse, right? This is why we want the government out. We want legal protection against the marketplace of ideas. But in the real world, as you know by now, if you've been attentive today, the marketplace of ideas actually operates in a different manner, and we need to untangle the way information is distributed in the marketplace, how information is exchanged, if you want to protect it from misuse. So to protect the marketplace of ideas, the lawyers, the policymakers, and Western countries in general have said we don't regulate the online space. We have no or limited liability on the intermediaries transferring data. And so we behave in the online marketplace according to our community standards, which we have, of course, agreed upon as a community. And this means that a lot of people can talk and share information, and a lot of people can consume this information, and they can also engage. We have tools. We can comment, we can share, we can like. This is our digital citizenship in this new and beautiful marketplace of ideas. But the problem is, of course, that content is not always legitimate. It's sometimes strictly illegal, and sometimes it's problematic. Sometimes we don't know because we still haven't found out what's true. And of course, we have the bad people, and these bad people have technology. They have these bots. So we have the bad players, signified here by red, and the bots, and they can misuse this amazing marketplace of ideas. So jumping really quickly, when we try to protect the marketplace of ideas, I will present here the work done in the European Union, what's known as the ABCDE model. And here we try to understand how bad actors actually misuse the online marketplace. So what we see here, and this is why it's called ABCDE, we have an actor. This is the bad actor misusing the marketplace. This bad actor has inauthentic behavior because usually he does not come with his true identity, and this is a term described by the Meta safety teams. Then we have the content, which we, if you're following, hopefully I'm going quickly because of time, this is something we don't want to deal with. We don't want the government dealing with content. And then we have also distribution, right? So it's not just the content, it's not just being online, but making impact. And so what can we, and so I will try to focus today on what we can do in these two areas, behavior and distribution, so that we curb misuse of the online marketplace. So what have we learned about behavior? And this is a good example, right? Coming from X. I don't know if it was related to the Friday ruling by the European Commission to sanction them or not, but 2 weeks ago, they have revealed not the true identity, but just the location of a speaker. And this allows us immediately contextual information about this actor. So people tweeting from Gaza that they're starving, they were not in Gaza at all. Or this account that follows Ivanka Trump, actually coming from Nigeria, if you can follow this. So this is behavior. And then we have distribution. So in 2019, post Cambridge Analytica, Mark Zuckerberg posted a post on Meta. And he was describing how the algorithm of Meta actually promotes the problematic content because this is what gets engagement, right? So we have this challenge in the marketplace between engagement and finding the truth. And actually, we have always had this tension between engagement, right? People like to read tabloids and Page 3 and The Sun, so humans, right? But the algorithms and the online marketplace has amplified this thing, and now we need to deal with it. And this is Mark Zuckerberg saying we need to penalize borderline content. In more technical terms, it means we need to do something with the algorithm because it's unlike our community standards. What's interesting in this graph is this line is not a government policy. This is the community standard decided by Facebook. Colleagues at the NATO Center for Strategic Communications have done studies over the last 3 years about buying manipulation. How much manipulation can you buy for 10 euros? So you can see the numbers here. And I recommend reading this report, and also how much false engagement you can get. So basically, it's not just buying the activity, it's also promoting the activity. And what we can see here is that even companies with a lot of safety, trust and safety, such as YouTube, you can actually get 200% more engagement, and it's not taken down by the platform. And in the Israeli case, as you mentioned, colleagues from the Israel Internet Association have reported the way that this has affected our news space. And some of the social media companies in the world coming back to criticisms that the content is really anti-Semitic and anti-Jewish, they said, well, what do you want? There are more people believing that Jews are bad than Jews in the world, right? So that's the problem. But actually, these algorithms and these numbers show us that this is in the machine and in the governance of these machines. So moving forward, what should we do as a community? The first thing, I think, is not reinvent the wheel. And we need a common taxonomy. And this is, I think, a role for government and research to agree that this is the way we describe influence campaigns. For those of you that know cybersecurity, what's been a very important breakthrough in cybersecurity defense is the meter attack, the way that we describe actually the kill chain of influence operations. And this is an important way to move forward. The other thing that we need to have is more platform transparency and responsiveness. So these are two legal documents that have been approved in the EU. The code of conduct is voluntary, and we have something our Ministry of Economic is promoting in Israel. What's good for Europe is good for Israel. So this is good for us when we buy biscuits and things in the supermarket. I would argue that the Disinformation Code of Conduct is something that we need here as well, this sort of bottom-up accountability. And finally, I will end with this slide that actually shows that there are a series of policy directions that are not aimed at content, that governments can take in order to protect the online space. We need to talk about this. And finally, when we talk about this place and the research in the universities, there's no going back. We're not going to have government regulate content. So we need to reimagine relationships between civil society and government so that civil society has better transparency about what's going on the platforms. Platforms are more accountable, and government comes in to moderate these things. Thank you so much for your attention.